Here you are with a motorized bike on the trail, and we're all supposed to just accept that because why? Why are we supposed to accept that? Why are you allowed to magically break this rule that everyone else is following? What makes you so special? Okay, here's another, let's play this something a little bit lighter. Another fun so-called Karen video. Now, you know this genre. We've talked about it many times before. Somebody records a video of themselves being reprimanded by a so-called Karen, and everybody laughs and mocks the Karen, and we all agree that Karens are horrible monsters, even though the quote-unquote Karen is actually entirely in the right most of the time. So I'm going to play this latest video. I won't go into my whole speech about how Karen is a racial slur. It is. You know my take on that. It is a slur invented by non-white people to demean white women. So that's the genesis of the term. It is a racial slur. If we say N-word, we should be saying K-word because they're both slurs. They're both slurs. They're both racial slurs. That's what they are. But anyway, in this video, so there's just the setup. There's a guy on an e-bike, on like a motorized bike, and he's being followed by a woman on a normal bike who scolds him for using his motorized bike on the bike trails, which is not allowed. And then this video ended up on the internet, and of course, almost everybody is all agreeing that this woman, what a horrible Karen, and blah, blah, blah. But let's watch the video.
Is that a full e-bike?
Yeah.
You know you're not allowed on the bike trails on full motorized vehicles. These can't be on the bike paths.
Uh-huh.
You have to bike on the street because they go like 35 miles an hour.
This thing goes 25 max.
You're not allowed on the bike trails on a full electric bike. There's signs all over. And you people piss me off because the guy came up this far from me and almost took me out. I would either been in the hospital or...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to tell you I was behind you.
Yeah, you need to stay on the streets because you're not allowed on the path. Sorry, I don't mean to... You know what?
Okay, so there's a few things here. It's funny. I'll never understand these people who have some interaction in public where they cower like little pathetic wimps and then they post it for the whole world to see so everyone can see what a pansy they are. Like this woman came right up to you. She confronted you directly. She had an issue with something you were doing. She told you about it. Okay. She was an adult about it. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't being belligerent. She didn't film you. She didn't try to publicly shame you. She didn't call the cops. She just came up to you, man to man, or man to woman in this case, and told you what she wanted to tell you. And if you really thought she was being unreasonable, you could have told her that to her face. Instead, you backed down and then put your little snide comeback in the caption of the video and then post it. Right? If you listen to the audio podcast, you couldn't see it, but she confronts him. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that." And then he rides away. And then up on the screen in a caption that he put on later when he was editing the video, it says, "Shut the F up, Karen." He didn't say that to her face, did he? Right? He said it later in the video. I'll get her back. I'll show her. And he puts a little caption on his video. So even if I thought that she was wrong, which I don't, I'd still take her side because you're a weak little punk. You are a weak little punk running to the internet for backup because you're too much of to speak up for yourself in person. I'm so tired of people that do this. If that happened to me, like if somebody started scolding me in public and I cowered and stammered and said, oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry about that. I would simply not ever post that video on the internet. I would never say, hey guys, look at me being a little over here. You guys get a load of this. Get a load of this. This woman talked to me, and I was terrified, and I stammered and stuttered and ran away. Look, everybody, check it out. I would never do that. Have you ever come across someone saying that capitalism is evil or something similar to that? Maybe in a video online or on TV or just talking to somebody. What was your reaction if you did? When did capitalism become such a hot button issue anyway? It seems like people have strong opinions about it and very little understanding of capitalism as a whole. Luckily, if you're looking to expand your knowledge and horizons on a broad range of topics, including subjects like capitalism, Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses. That's right, completely free. I do recommend watching their new course, Understanding Capitalism. In just 7 lectures, you'll learn about the role of profit and loss, how human nature shapes our economy, and why capitalism depends on private property rights, the rule of law, and freedom. You'll also discover why capitalism actually encourages morality rather than undermining it, like today's varying political agendas would have you believe. Understanding economics and capitalism empowers individuals and societies to make informed decisions, evaluate policy impacts, anticipate market changes, and ultimately create more prosperous communities. Go right now to hillsdale.edu/Walsh to enroll in this course, Understanding Capitalism. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/Walsh to enroll for free, hillsdale.edu/Walsh. We would never speak of that encounter ever. It would never be spoken. I wouldn't tell a single person. I wouldn't tell a single soul. I wouldn't tell my wife. I wouldn't tell anybody. It would die. It would go with me to the grave. And yet these guys, they put it on the internet. And that's why the quote unquote Karens. This is why I defend them, because they have the gumption, they have the guts to actually just come up to you face to face and tell you what they think. They aren't filming you. They aren't, running to Twitter to make fun of you after you're long gone. They're just coming up to you in person as a human being, like people used to do, and just telling you, like, look, here's what you did. I think it was the wrong thing to do. I just want you to know that. I respect that. I respect people who will just speak up and say what they need to say. I don't understand how twisted your mind has to be when you see a video like this and you side with the weak ass little punk who was, number one, breaking the rules, and number two, is running to the internet to get backup rather than manning up and speaking up for himself if he really thinks he was in the right. Also, in this case, as usual, the so-called Karen is right. Motorized bikes aren't allowed on the bike trail. It's not like an unreasonable rule. There's a reason for that, right? And I'm not one to speak up for cyclists very often. Okay, you know how I feel about cyclists, but in this case, she's right. That's the rule. And this guy ignored the rule because he's an entitled jerk who thinks he should be able to do whatever he wants. And yet somehow this detail is always overlooked and ignored in these so-called Karen videos, right? It's always somebody whining, saying, oh, this Karen yelled at me and said I was doing the wrong thing. Come on, internet, come on, right? Let's have my back on this. And somehow nobody ever asks the obvious follow-up question, which is, okay, she yelled at you and said you're doing the wrong thing. Were you? Were you doing the wrong thing? How is that not the most relevant question to ask here? Instead, all these morons are like, she should just mind her own business. You idiots. Was he breaking the rule or not? Well, he was. Because if you were breaking the rule, then how are you not in the wrong here? I mean, what exactly is your claim? Are you saying that you were doing the wrong thing, but this woman somehow has, a moral obligation to just let you do it without comment? Is that what you think? All these people that say, oh, people just need to mind their own business. No, so what you're saying is that that everybody else has a moral obligation to just let you do whatever the hell you want. That's what you're saying. Sure, motorized bikes aren't allowed on the trail, and here you are with a motorized bike on the trail, and we're all supposed to just accept that because why? Why are we supposed to accept that? Why are you allowed to magically break this rule that everyone else is following? What makes you so special? You're such a precious little angel that everybody is just, yeah, I know this is the rule. There's a million signs. I'm going to ride right past those signs doing the opposite of what the sign says because I feel like it. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And if there are a million signs saying no motorized bikes on the trail, and this guy says, well, I'm just going to do it anyway. Well, that makes him wrong. And Karen wins again. This is why we need these so-called Karens. Who you know what they actually are? You know what the quote-unquote Karen, you know what they are? They're moms. Like this is how moms are supposed to be. Like that's what a mom does. That's the role. This is one of the roles that moms fill in society. Right? It's always, of course it's going to be. it's like it's probably not going to be a dad with a rule like it's a rule. Okay, first of all, it's a rule. The rule is there. It's a legitimate rule. No motorized bikes on the trail. It's a rule. It's legitimate. There is a reason for it. There's a safety reason for it in that these bikes go too fast for a trail that was not made for those kinds of bikes. But men, like dads, right? The dad thing is you're probably not you're just like, whatever, they're fine. This is the eternal argument between moms and dads. It's like the mom is like, look, he's on the trail. He's not supposed to be. He's fine. It's probably fine. It's whatever. Who cares? That's the dad approach. But the mom says, no, this isn't right. The rule is right there. You can't break the rule. And there's always a little bit of tension there. But you need that. You need that. And you need that in society. And you need these women, these moms who are just gonna, they're not okay with you breaking the rule. The rule's there for a reason. They're not gonna let you break it. And why are they enforcing the rule? Just because it's the rule. That's the only reason. And you need people in society who care about the rules simply because it is a rule. Let me tell you something. You shout down all these people, you shame them, and you make them go away. Then what would you rather have? Would you rather have a society that's run by the weak little on the bike, breaking the rules, doesn't even have the guts to speak up for himself? Like, who do you want? Who do you want to have a greater influence on society? That guy, or the woman, the mom who cares about the rules? Well, if you want a civilized, well-ordered society, then it should be the latter, is what I'm going to tell you. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.